Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to walk you through how I solved the CSWA practice problem 5.11. So here I'm going to start with this front face right here, and basically design that whole thing except for the fillets that I'm going to add later. I'm going to extrude that front face all the way to the other end, 110, and then cut away this part right here, except for this fillet that I'm going to add at a later step. Then I'm going to focus on these holes, I'm going to drill these holes, and then finally create a plane that is going to be perpendicular to this 25-degree angle line here. So perpendicular to that. So it'll basically be 25 degrees from this plane here. And then create a circle and do a cut extrude to create this little cut right here. All right, that's the game plan. Let's get to it. So here's the front plane. I don't know why it's moved down there. All right, so I'm going to create that front face, and to do that I'm going to enter line mode, make an 88 wide line, then 24 going down, then somewhere down here go back into this point to make an arc that is radius 25, and we'll just end that arc here, let's say, and then create a line and then go back up to close the shape. Okay, now we have to fix a few things. One is that the midpoint of this line should be at the origin. So coincident, Alt-D for coincident once you've selected those 2 points. Another thing is this should also be 24. We could probably do a relation to make these two equal, but whatever you want to do. This should be vertical to this other point, to the origin. So I can select both, hit Alt-V. And then what else? Oh, this needs to be tangent here, otherwise wonky things can happen. So I can just click on that point and then click the Make Tangent. Okay, one more thing is the distance from the top to the center of the arc is 40. And there we go, fully defined. Okay, now we do need to make that circle. So let's go ahead and make that circle, which has a diameter of 19. So there it is. And then now we can hit the S shortcut and do an extruded boss base, which I added to that little S menu. I'm going to do it in the opposite direction, 110. You can tell I just did this not too long ago for practice. And there we go. So that's looking good. There's the nice isometric view. It's looking pretty good. Before I forget, I'm going to add those fillets in. So I'm going to do fillet and then type in the fillet radius, which I found is the best workflow. Press the fillet button or use some kind of shortcut to get there, and then type in the radius first, and then you can go ahead and select these two. So always type in the radius first because your focus is already on the radius, so you can enter it in very easily. Otherwise, if you lose that focus, you have to go back in here and focus it again. Okay, and then I can hit enter, and there we go. There's the fillet. Now I'm going to make that cut on the side. So I'm going to work on this part right here. Basically create this shape except for this fillet, and then going to cut that away. So let's give that a try. We need to be working in the right plane, it looks like. Okay. So it's somewhere around here. I don't know exactly where. I'll smart dimension that later. And it goes up. If we look at it, it goes up an unknown distance, but it looks like it goes up to the same line as this right here. So if we take the total height minus this top part, which it looks like is 24, then that should get us the right dimension for this line right here. Okay, so what is it from top to bottom? Well, it's 40 plus 19, or sorry, plus 25. So 40 plus 25, because the radius of this is 25, so from here to here is 25. So it's going to be 40 plus 25, and then minus the 24. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to go up 40 plus 25 minus 24. All right, and it lands us right on that line. So we actually, if we figured it out, we probably could just go right directly to that line. Okay, now I switched to arc mode accidentally, so let's go ahead and get back into line. We'll click there. And how far do we want to make this? You know what? I don't know. We're just going to dimension the rest of it. So we'll click and then go up. Looks like 6. And then all the way to the end. And then back down and around. Okay. So let's finish off the smart dimensioning. We're told that this distance right here is 35. And let's see here. Okay, so, and also this distance here is 12. Okay, perfect, fully defined. So now we can do like the S shortcut. I added the extruded cut. And we'll just go both directions. Hit enter. And so let's see what it looks like. Looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that fillet in before we forget. Remember, the flow is fillet, type in the radius. You don't even have to hit enter, and then select, and then hit enter. There we go. Okay, let's make those little circle cuts here. The way I'm going to do that is to create a center line up to the center of this rectangle that I'm going to make right here that has dimensions 35 and 55. And I'm going to make it for construction. I can hit Alt-C to do that. See how the C is underlined, so I can hit Alt-C, and it makes it for construction only, because we don't really want that as a rectangle. And that's it. So I can hit the green check mark. Now let's position this correctly. So we have to go, it looks like 15 from the top, and we're fully defined. So now we can put those circles in. They all have diameter 10. And that automatic dimensioning that I mentioned in the previous video is really coming in handy here for smart dimensioning these things. All right, so now we can hit S, do an extruded cut. Just go all the way through both directions. All right, so one last thing, we have to make this cut here, which means we need to make a reference plane to be able to draw that circle that's going to help make the cut. Okay, so it looks like that, let's see, it looks like this line right here is 25 degrees from the top face, but we want our plane to be perpendicular to that. So if you think about it, it's going to be 25 degrees then from this front face. This will be 25 degrees from the front face. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use this line right here as one of the parts to create the plane, and then this face right here as the other part. And then we're going to make a 25-degree angle from those two. All right, kind of swiveling about, so basically swiveling this plane about this line 25 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to select this line, shift select this plane, do reference geometry plane, and see it automatically feeds those in there. And then we're going to select an angle. Okay, and we're going to do 25 degrees. Now it's going 25 degrees in the wrong direction, so we're going to flip offset, and there it is. Hit enter. So we'll go ahead and draw the circle on this plane and then extrude cut it. Okay, let's see if it flips it in a nice direction. It's okay. You can monkey around with the plane settings if you want. You can flip the normal, and then if we edit a sketch now, we're on this side. If you still don't want that side, you can go normal too, and now it's looking like the angle that I would want the circle to be in. But anyway, you can play around with that if you're kind of getting confused about which angle you're looking at things from. Let's go ahead and make that circle. Looks like the radius of the circle is 23, so 23 times 2 is going to be the diameter. And now we can do the cut. I just rotated it, flipped it around. Okay, here, let's see. Yes, that's doing the cut like we want it. Here, I'll hit Control 7. Yes, looking good. Okay, so there we go. And if we want to hide this plane, we can hide the plane. And if we look at our volume, we've got 208821. 208821. Okay, what do we have here? 208819. Close enough. Did this a couple of times and came up with the same result. If you come up with exactly this result, please let me know what you did down in the comments. But otherwise, I think we pretty much handled this one okay. We were close enough. All right, well, I hope this video was helpful. If you guys are looking for something a little bit more professional, look for a channel called Design With Roozbe. He probably gets into all the details about why this number might be different from a number that you get when you do it yourself. He does an awesome job at breaking down every problem in good detail. So anyway, take care and keep studying.